Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
It's really weird that I've had to do this without the intro, uh, because I don't type any of that up.
You should have it memorized though by now.
I just say, "Welcome to Saber Golf Podcast." Derek's not here. I am Dom. Here is the guest.
uh, like Dom said, that's Dom. We are currently on episode 154. We have a very special guest today. We have Alan with Cobalt Golf. Excuse me. Wow. They produce premium golf rangefinders and sell direct to the consumer with no retail markup. Make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. Their handle is at Cobalt Golf. That's COBALTGOLF. Alan, thanks so much for taking the time and joining us on the podcast.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having us.
For sure. Let's dive right into it. What inspired you to start Cobalt Golf, and why did you focus on rangefinders specifically?
That's a great question. So yeah, we are a product of a partnership between two companies. One is an optics company called Maven Optics, produce premium binoculars, spotting scopes, rifle scopes, things like that. And then a laser company down in Denver called Laser Tech. And so the way that kind of synergy worked is that Maven was looking to make a hunting rangefinder and got introduced to Laser Tech. Laser Tech has been in the rangefinder game for over 30 years, helped pioneer it back with Bushnell. And so they were looking to kind of start their own direct-to-consumer brand, but is set up to be business to business. And so that partnership kind of worked out perfectly for both parties. Maven got their hunting rangefinder and then also got set up to launch Cobalt Golf. Turns out most of the market of rangefinders is actually golfers, not hunters. And
So,
so since then, we've
for
been live for 3 years.
so for those of you who don't watch the pod, my face lit the fuck up. Um, my background, Alan, I don't know if I mentioned it, and in the emails we've done back and forth. My background is outdoor retail. So I've worked with Vortex, I've worked with Maven. I've worked with Bushnell. I've worked with all these other companies that make these rifle scopes that are high high quality, incredibly clear. That makes so much sense. Um, because the first thing I was able to thank you for sending one of the rangefinders out for us to use. We're going to talk about it, and I have a review made already. I just haven't posted it yet. My first thing was this thing is clear, like
Mhm.
incredibly clear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on my hunting rifle that I don't even hunt, but I have one
Just in case.
just in case, maybe that deer breaks in. This should it's not sighted in, but like I've been using like the Vortex Crossfire 2, which is an incredibly clear, like that's what Vortex is known for is their glass. The Q6 that I was able to use might be the clearest rangefinder I've ever like
Mhm.
held up and went, a shot at.
Gunned it. Yep.
Clear. That makes so much sense that you'd be backed by a right or a optic manufacturer. That makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do at shows when introducing people to the brand is just what makes you different. And I'm just like, just look through it. It's the clarity is unbelievable. I wish it helped my golf game a little bit more, but I can at least see how far my ball went when it's dribbling down the fairway.
So how long have you been how long has Cobalt Golf been in the golf space?
So we launched in March of 2021. And
Okay.
so kind of the pandemic slowed down a little bit of that production getting out. We were hoping to get out a couple years earlier. And so hit the market running. And so yeah, it's just been a little bit more than 3 years now.
Very cool. And so we talked about it in the intro there. You're kind of direct to consumer as far as the rangefinders go. How have you been like what's your like strategic way to reach out to these consumers? Is it Instagram, all the social media platforms? Like what is kind of your key to reaching consumers?
Yeah, I think a lot of being direct to consumer is what you're hitting on there, right? Like being on socials, getting in front of people at shows, really relying on that word of mouth. So a lot of times people find us either because a buddy picked up one, they've seen us online on a review, somebody they follow either on YouTube or Instagram has one. And so that kind of is what leads people to figure out what Cobalt's all about.
When you talk about like shows, do you do like golf trade shows? You've been in the PGA show. Have
Mhm.
you been there? I'm assuming.
Well, not so much the PGA show, just because being direct to consumer, that's really built to sell to retailers
Sure,
or
that makes
golf pro
sense.
shops. And so definitely have been there walking around trying to do that networking side of it. But for the most part, yeah, it's consumer trade shows. So we'll turn that on starting in January and we'll hit quite a few shows around the country.
We have one here every year. I think pretty much most states do, but we have one. I think it's like January, February. Have you been out here in the Minnesota trade show?
Not yet. No, I actually just found out about it last year. So it's kind of all just organic research. And so I saw somebody post something online and quickly looked it up. We were already booked that weekend. So it's definitely one of the ones that we've got our eye on trying to make it to.
Sure, we'd love to have you come out. I mean, with Minnesota with the weather here, we're very limited, and we have some dedicated golfers, so it's usually a pretty good turnout. I mean, weather dependent, but it's like a long weekend type of deal. So yeah, it might be a great
Mhm.
opportunity for you. Can you describe or just talk about the different rangefinders that you offer, the different models?
Sure. So really, it's down to two different lines for us. We've got the Q6 model, which includes the Q6 slope, which you guys got to play around with, as well as the Q6, which is just the non-slope version of it. So really built for those tournament golfers being the difference, right? With the Q6 slope, it is tournament acceptable because there's a clear indicator on the side, so you can switch that slope on and off. And so that's going to have our premium grade of glass. It can shoot a flag up to 600 yards, has a top end range of 2,500 yards. I've messed around with it, ping things as far as like 2,200 yards just for fun.
I was
And so,
I was pinging water towers when so it's like we're on the course and we played. It was raining, windy, and cold.
Yeah.
So I put this thing through the ringer, and I'm like, I wonder how far that water tower is. I'm like, I can hit it. I,
So going back to it as well, I just gunned it like two or three times, and I will say same thing that Dom had mentioned. The clarity was you could tell it stood out for sure from different rangefinders. We've uh we've done a couple of different reviews on other rangefinders that again they were both great quality, but I will say that the clarity definitely stood out to me as far as the difference between a couple of the other brands. Not that they were
there's
good, but
there's little features that I really love
Mhm.
with the Cobalt, which I'm sure we'll get to later on. But yeah, no, I was sitting in the cart, and I'm like, it says 2,500 meters or whatever. I'm like, I don't know how far that water tower is, and I'm like, oh, it's like 800 yards.
I know one of my favorite things is on different courses, right? You've got all these different targets. So like sometimes when we do on course events, we're stuck way far away from the clubhouse and you're trying to see how far away you are from there, or if you've got a highway passing you. Like I bet you I can hit that car before it disappears around the corner. And so it's fun to play those games with people just to show the quality. Right? Not necessarily super important on a golf course, but it just speaks to the quality of the laser that did it. And gives you that trust factor behind it and the number you get.
I think sometimes too, like, depending on the golf course itself, you're gunning the flagstick and sometimes there's trees behind it. And I feel like sometimes there
Mhm.
can be that issue where all of a sudden you're gunning it and you're getting like four or five different yardages because it's not like targeting right onto the flagstick. So I feel like with the clarity, that
Mhm.
definitely helps being able to penetrate, specifically on the flagstick versus like a leaf.
Well, and
Oh, 100%.
I think what people like don't always consider is, you can get like the cheapy $100, sub $100 in some cases rangefinders, but it's like, what are you giving up? A lot of times it's not like features, it's just like the quality
Quality.
of it. Yeah, right. So like, we've been very lucky to work with a couple other companies, and I have nothing bad to say about them. But when you look at theirs and then you're like, oh wow, this one's so clear, you're just like, damn, like it's crazy. And then it's like you're trying to get people to like understand it, where it's like, oh well, I got mine for like $100, and you're like, yeah, but you put that $100 into this one, you're gonna see like into the future.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able
You
to
don't
see
even
that.
need contact.
Yeah,
Like I don't need
you're
my
gonna.
contacts. I can just use this.
Well, like I was using one of my buddies' older. I'm not gonna say the brand, but older rangefinder, and I'm like, it's dark, it's kind of cloudy. I'm like, I can't tell if it's old or just garbage.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, this one is just like I put it up, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. It
Yeah,
makes
and
a
that's
huge
one of the Oh, for sure. And it's one of my favorite things. It's like the things I talk about the most behind the rangefinders is one, the clarity. And then two, it's that fast, accurate laser because you want to shoot it, you want to get a number. You don't want to be frustrated or start questioning what number you're at. Golf's hard enough, right?
Yep.
Just give me the accurate number and let me move on to my club selection. And then it's just easy to use, right? There's no menu really to mess with. It's just simple. And so that's my favorite three features of that unit.
If we're gonna talk about like features, I think my favorite one was make like how easy it was to make the reading brighter or dimmer.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just that dial is so easy versus having to like twist the eye cap or some of them you can't even make lighter or dimmer.
Yeah, I think one
It's just one
setting. Yep.
where I'm like, oh, I could twist this dial and then boom, and I'm like that easy. Like that's probably my favorite feature is that dial.
Yeah, no, and the red, right, has that chance to get washed out when you're going back towards the sun, playing at
Mhm.
last light. And so if you can't see what you're shooting at, then you can't have the confidence in the number. And so yeah, to be able to do that on the fly is one of my favorite features too.
Can you walk us through like the design, like testing or design process and testing of, I know you have a couple different models, but um like what is the, because some of the things you just mentioned, I didn't even take in consideration. Like, I mean, the sun, obviously that's going to go up and it's going to come down at some point as far as the day, the
Yep.
time of day. And when you're talking about being able to adjust that,
Mhm.
I've never even really even thought of that. And so that does make a huge difference when you're trying to, if you're playing twilight golf or midday golf, whatever it might be. So what is it, like a full team? Like what's the process look like?
Yeah, I think so. And so there's a bigger group from both companies that get together, talk weekly about, what's going on with the current products, what to do with the next products, things like that. And so we're always kind of kicking around new ideas. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that having somebody like Laser Tech behind us that has the professional surveying background, they've designed lasers even that have been used up at the International Space Station. Like, if you have an idea, those engineers can go down that rabbit hole and figure out if it's worthwhile or not and exactly how it figures into the system. And so it's a combination of figuring out a feature that you really want to incorporate. Does it make sense into the display, and how do you like give that to the customer? And then for us, right, we always stand behind our products, and so we're looking to make something that's not going to break. We know things happen on the golf course. It's easy for rangefinders to get dropped, run over, end up getting soaked and rained on. And so if that product doesn't stand up to the test that a golfer is going to put it through, then it's not worth having. You might as well go ahead and spend your money on something else.
What is your warranty for your products?
It's an unconditional lifetime warranty. So as long as it's not cosmetic and you haven't lost it, we'll stand by. So, I've had people who have, like I said, run over it because it fell out their bag and they backed over it in the parking lot. To people who's had their dog chew on it. It's anything, right? So it's one of those things like buy once, cry once, and you're set for life.
Okay. So like somebody gets upset, maybe accidentally drops it.
Accidentally throws it out the car window.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite feature is it is waterproof. And so we talk about this a lot. It's IPX7 waterproof. And so it can be fully submerged in water for 30 minutes. When we do this test in front of people and you put it in a 5-gallon bucket, it actually floats. So your clubs end
Wow.
up like rolling back down the hill into the pond. As long as that rangefinder can get out of its case, it'll just be sitting there bobbing for you to fish it out.
Be a good commercial for you guys for content.
I'll throw
Throw
it.
it in the
Right?
pond,
I'll
the
throw it in
phone,
the
have some,
pond.
yeah, have
Yeah.
somebody come swim and go grab it.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone back, put it in my bag, and it's just dropped straight onto the cart path.
Well, that goes into like one of my like big complaints about it. And like my only real complaint is that there's no magnet because
Mm-hmm.
someone like me, when we played, we had layers on. I lost it a couple times during the round, like just in the shuffle of,
He didn't lose it. I actually took it.
okay, well, it was like under jackets and stuff. And I'm like, God, if it was just like magnetic, you just stick it there and then,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about dropping it when you're putting it back in your bag or stuff like that. That was my only real complaint is that there's no magnet because it's just easy for
Keep track
me
of.
for me to lose things. But then it's like I also had the same conversation with one of my buddies, and he's like, Yeah, I like that it's not magnetic because then I don't have to really worry about where I put it. I'm like, well, that's like the opposite for me. I'm like, I put it down and it's gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say the roles could be reversed. Some people could leave it on the golf court or on the
Yeah,
golf cart, you know. But is that something that
Mhm.
you've talked about of potentially bringing another model or having a magnet on there?
I was kind of curious why there wasn't a magnet.
Hmm.
Yeah, so twofold there. When that product was developed, it was really right before magnets became a big thing in rangefinders. And that
Mm.
smart switch system, that dial on the side that controls the brightness, the yardage to meter button, and that slope lever is actually built on a magnetic system. That's how we got that IPX7 waterproof rating because it doesn't have a permeation in that armor. It's a completely enclosed housing around all the electronics.
Interesting.
Okay.
And so that was kind of the design feature. And so putting another magnet, whether it's an aftermarket magnetic strap or just like putting one of those adhesive magnetic strips on it, actually messes with that unit. And so you lose the ability to turn on slope. You may actually see the yard switch to meters, which is a big difference the further you get away from the hole. And then you can also see that brightness kind of change settings on you a little bit. It's definitely something we've heard a lot of from customers on both ends of the spectrum, right? From the people who love it and that's the only reason they don't buy it is because they can't put it on the cart, to other people who's like, I love it because I can't lose it. When we were doing the product testing for our other unit, the Q4, I put a magnetic strap on there, and I can't tell you, I left that prototype at our local golf course at least 3 times that I had to turn around and go back and go get.
That's
Um,
exactly what I
and
was
so
gonna
yeah,
say. So you could have like a magnetic strap or like a strap that you could just, like a sleeve essentially that you could come up with,
hmm
where you don't have to worry about that. But we knew that there was obviously
I knew,
thought
yeah,
into the
I knew there
process.
had to be a reason
Mhm.
not to have this feature. Talking about all the like technology built into it, I get it. Because
For
that
sure.
thing is
yeah.
it's jam-packed full of features and technology and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, you saying it, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah. And it is something, right? Like I think in the next products we launch, we'll probably be able to incorporate that magnet. It just takes a little bit of figuring out with that software system.
For sure. And this is why we love having these, like having guests on the podcast for this reason, because like I said, we know most companies don't just put something together and just throw it out to everyone and sell it. And
Hmm.
again, that's why we like to review products is we get to see it
Sure.
firsthand, see, the functionality of like what we like and what we see that's different. But again, it's great to hear your side of the story because after you talk about it, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes 100%,
And
makes sense.
it wasn't like, oh, there's no magnet, thing's trash. Like I'm like, there's ways around this, right?
Mhm.
Like I just won't
Yeah.
leave it on top of the golf cart. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll just be more
Yeah.
careful. But I'm like, there's gotta be like a reasoning for this, right? It's kind of like when when laptops started or stopped having like the CD drives. It's like nobody's using it, but it's also like boom, more battery. And we're just like, oh,
Yeah, you got more space and more
genius.
battery. Yeah. Well, and going back to the
hmm
magnetic thing, I left a small speaker.
I
Um,
did that.
yeah, so I mean
Yeah.
you it's kind of designed to not forget it, but at the same token, like a
I'm
lot of people have
still
actually forgot it on the golf course,
I'm
especially
still upset I lost that speaker.
yeah. Yeah, we both done that. So it makes
Oh,
sense. Do you plan on like releasing, so maybe you keep the same models, upgrade something, here or there. But do you plan on releasing other colors or color options?
that's a great question. We've definitely kicked it around. Like if you got on the Maven website, we do a lot on custom binoculars, spotting scopes, rifle scopes, where you can do a little bit different armor, a little different rings. It's definitely something we've kicked around. It's just the construction of those current units make it a little bit harder to change some of that anodized rings. So it's definitely something we've kicked around, whether it's a custom skin you put on it, maybe a couple limited edition runs, things like that. So.
No, and like kind of where golf is going with all like the fashion and all that. That's kind of was the questions because I feel
Mhm.
like there's definitely opportunity for like you mentioned like a skin or a
Like a
sleeve
safe
or
car edition.
like a safe hard edition. Yeah, exactly. The safe par logo.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do a lot with college coaches too. And so it's the same thing, right? Like I've had coaches come up to me like, I would love this unit and buy it for my team, except it's my rival's colors. So can't do that. Sorry.
I thought the black and blue was slick.
The color
I
awesome.
think
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
a good look personally. Although we are biased considering, black and blue microphone every week. But I thought it was pretty slick looking. I remember I was like, wow, it's sleek. Yeah.
What challenge do you face like in developing and marketing rangefinders? Like, because golf in general is a competitive market, and there's obviously other brands around. So, what's been kind of your main focus to like stick out from some of the other brands?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, right, is just the natural cycle of new companies, right? Like we're still in that phase of getting our name out there, getting more of that brand recognition. And so we're constantly having that be a point of emphasis for us, right? Like how do we develop that brand awareness of people knowing who we are? I can't tell you how many trade shows I've come up and people looked at the Cobalt name and either associated us with the power tools, a
Yep.
boat company, something else that has that same name. And so it's that ability to change who we are and tell them our own story.
Sure.
And so yeah, I think we're working real hard on figuring out that same thing. We've had great success. Micah Morris has been a big supporter of us, and so that's been a big push for us. And it was the same thing. He got the rangefinder and just absolutely loved it. And so that's been great for us. Just from him alone, like that awareness has grown tenfold. And so we've seen a lot of those early adopters come our way, and now it's just a matter of what's that second wave? How do you get to that next wave of golfer?
I was kind of hoping it'd be like related to the power tools because then in my mind I'm like, cool, you could slap a big Joe battery in it and go for like go
Yeah.
forever. You're just like, yep, let me shoot it quick,
We just have
battery.
two big battery packs in the back of our
Yeah.
cart, we're all good to go.
So we use all the Ryobi stuff
Yep.
at work, like drills and everything. I'm like, hey, kind of want the Ryobi vacuum. They're like, really? I'm like, they're like, what are you gonna use it for? I'm like, vacuuming. Duh. So now we have a Ryobi vacuum that we just drop the batteries in and vacuum. I haven't used it in months, but I,
No,
I have
but you
one.
have it.
I have one.
So just to clarify, you're not affiliated with Cobalt uh Power Tools.
No, not at all.
Damn.
Um,
Probably a good thing.
what you talked about Micah Morris, which obviously he's a huge influencer, really cool guy, at least from what we've seen in videos and
Yeah,
stuff.
we don't know him
Yeah,
personally.
we don't know him
Yeah.
personally. But are there any like partnerships or collaborations that you're working on in the near future or trying to get maybe some more social media
Like
influencers?
an up and coming podcast out of Minnesota.
I wondered how we got on here. That marketing department of ours is always working.
Yeah.
And so they're constantly looking for new leads, new collaborations. We've had great success. I don't know if a lot of people know about him, but if you look up Kraken Golf, he develops custom ball markers out of Massachusetts.
Well, we are very
We had a
familiar with
great
Mark.
collaboration.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
awesome.
Mark is a
Mark.
great dude.
Yeah. Sorry, keep
Yeah.
going. Yeah, we were listening.
And
Whenever somebody brings
yeah,
up
and
Mark, we
so
get excited because he's been on the pod,
Yeah.
and we are just
oh yeah.
incredibly big fans of Mark. But yes, we're sorry. Continue.
Oh yeah, no, he's a good dude. Like I called him up just randomly, shot him an email because I was supposed to work the Northeast Golf Show, and I saw how close he was, and I was like, "Hey, would love to come, just like meet you, say hi, love your work." And so he had even opened the doors and was going to give me a shop tour. We got 12 inches of snow the day before my plane was supposed to leave, so every airport in Wyoming shut down, and so I was just stuck. And so I still have it on my bucket list to get out there and visit Mark now that he's got a new shop and see the artist at work. So we've worked with him. We've done things with a couple other smaller companies that have really been fun to kind of just dive into. We really look for brands that are similar like us. Anybody who's in that DTC market, and that makes a great product. We're all for.
Sure, sure. Um,
Damn. So not us.
oh, we'll be there. Yeah, we'll definitely be able to help you out. This is great. This is
We're
Oh
just
no, I
exciting.
figure we'll be hanging
kidding.
out in Minnesota here soon, right at the golf
Yeah,
show.
on that next.
We'll snow by then, but yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't get delayed, we'll still make it work.
Well, we're close enough we could almost drive at that point, right? Like, I'm sure we're in the same boat. We get a little bit of winter golf once our course shuts down. They put the flag sticks in front of the green, and you can play until the snow covers it. So,
Exactly. I
I
don't know.
don't I don't think we can just do you want to drive to Wyoming?
Yeah. Wyoming looks beautiful. I'd love to go trek out there. But I was going to ask you about weather-wise. I mean, even the whole country itself has been kind of had some crazy weather, but has it been like historically warm where you're at?
actually, 2 years ago, it was almost historically cold for us. And so we had snow all the way through May almost. And then that year, it was the 4th of July. We always do a big parade here in town. And the weather, the just kept dropping. And so it started off as rain and in the low 50s. It ended up like low 40s, almost like spitting snow that one year.
Ooh,
And so
That's
we did
awesome.
have a
that's
little bit of a
crazy.
yeah, a little bit of a warmer fall. It's just starting to turn and snap. And so like today, it was like getting in the car at 10 degrees in the morning. It's like, all right, winter's coming. It's not too
Winter
much
is here.
far off.
Yeah.
There's
Hmm.
chance of snow tomorrow. I don't know if you pay attention. My
Yeah, I know.
laptop always has the weather right there. We're supposed to get an inch.
Yeah, we normally, I mean, we normally get snow. It could snow in October,
We
Hmm.
had the great Halloween blizzard of whatever year that was
1991.
that
Yeah.
I was not born
Yeah.
yet. But yeah,
I was two.
I've
So
heard of that.
yeah, it was like 30 and it was some crazy
Well,
storm,
and
but
my dad was telling me again, I was not around in 92 or whatever.
91.
91 was not alive yet. Um, he was telling me that it was fine, and then all of a sudden it hit the nighttime, and then it just like
Blizzard.
poured, and I'm like, it's great.
Fun as a kid, for sure.
Well, the
Oh yeah.
difference, you
My
know,
daughter absolutely loves living in Wyoming. Like we just get out there every time I shovel the driveway, it seems like I build a new sled hill for her in the yard.
Yeah, kid wise, it's fantastic. 'Cause, like the older I get, I'm like, I like snow during Christmas time and all that, but
last year kind
after,
of
I'm ready to.
last year kind of sucked not having snow on
Yeah,
Christmas. It rained
it was a.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yep, it's a brown Christmas
So
for
it's
sure.
gray, dull, and then you're like, great, it's raining.
But going back to that, I played golf. I mean, I didn't play a lot of golf this year, but I did get a chance to play 9 holes in January this year in Minnesota, which is like the first time. I mean, it's really unheard of to do that. That golf courses were open in January.
That's crazy.
So I got to play 9 holes. That was about it, but it was just kind of cool to actually play golf in Minnesota in January. That's just so rare. But um, kind of back to Cobalt Golf. As far as like, it's not really. Well, how should I ask this? So most episodes I ask some sort of entrepreneurship type of question. But I guess I ask you this personally, if there's one piece of advice that you'd give somebody who's looking to start a company, not necessarily a rangefinder company, obviously, but just any type of company in the golf space, what's one piece of advice that maybe you've gotten from somebody that you'd like to share with them, that you would share with them?
Oh man, it's like for me, like every opportunity, like every time somebody approaches you, it's an opportunity for success. Like I can't tell you how many people I've gone out on the road with and sat down with, and just had a genuine conversation and like had no clue what was coming, and it started a great relationship. And so, be open to those relationships, right? When somebody approaches you, if you find them with an open mind, have a genuine conversation, you always will come out for the better.
I love that. That's actually a good piece of advice. Just keep it open. You never know what's going to come about to that
I
partnership,
was told not to talk
collaboration.
to strangers, though.
That's funny.
I know.
Um,
I have my moments.
is there anything that you want to, so I got a decent amount of rapid fire questions, but is there anything, we didn't really talk pricing. I don't know. Can you just kind of elaborate a little bit, kind of where the pricing is for each rangefinder that you offer?
Sure. Yeah. So starting at our mid range, which we haven't really talked a whole lot, but the Q4S, that one for us starts at 295. Really built to go up against some of our competition that you see out there, like the V6 Shift, what Precision Pro did with the NX10, things like that. And so that one came in at 295 for us because we felt like that was a good space.
That's a good price
Still,
point.
Yep. And then still it's the compact classic rangefinder shape that a lot of people know and love because that's the other thing that dial like some people love, some people don't, just from the size of it. And so getting back to that more sleeker compact body size, definitely I've seen a lot of people gravitate towards. The Q6, which is the non-slope version, that goes for 400, and then the Q6 slope, our premium one, goes 450.
Okay. And you said the Q6 slope, there's a little switch on there so you can
Yep.
remove the slope, you said,
Yep.
Yep.
correct? Okay.
Yeah, I know it's super easy. It's right
And then
by
the same thing with the Q4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and as far as all the different models, or is the clarity there on all the different I mean, every model that you offer, is that you'll notice that right off the.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I still think the Q4 has a little bit different grade of glass in it, but it's still a great quality. And so a little bit difference is the display itself. And so that Q4 goes with an all black display. which is kind of classic, or an auto adjusting red black. And so it picks up on ambient conditions around you to add that red to it. And so it has a little different feel than the Q6 Slope does. But I love that red display. Like I tell people all the time, like I'd be totally happy with the Q4 in my bag, but because I've played with the Q6 so long, like I can't go back. Like I love that thing.
Sure. And as far as like charging and all that, is it just like a USB port that you plug into?
It's a battery.
It is a battery.
It's a
Okay.
battery.
Oh, and you
Oh
had mentioned
yeah.
that before. I'm sorry. Yeah, you did say it was the there's a magnetic inside the actual.
Yeah, and so classic CR2 battery. So it's like that shorter AA size battery.
Mhm.
It took me almost 9 months to get through that first battery. So it goes for 2,500 ranges roughly.
Wow. Okay. That's quite a
I know you were
quite a lot.
talking about how the Q4 or yeah, the Q4
Hmm.
is the more like the sleek in terms of like the
The way
shape
it
and
hits, yeah.
everything. Yeah, it's more of a like a
Hmm.
traditional. I actually really liked the shape of the Q6 slope. Um, I had compared it to the pinned, blanking on what they call theirs, Prism Pro,
Yep.
and then the
Precision Pro.
Precision Pro. I can't think of the one I have.
Yeah, it's not the one
I
that
don't
you had
have that.
mentioned. It's the
It's
other one.
the
It's like
other one.
yeah,
Anyways,
yep.
I liked how short the Q6 was, but I liked how tall it was. Does that make sense? Like it felt very
Hmm.
compact, but also like it felt like it wasn't gonna just like drop out of my hand, or like it didn't feel too small. It had a really good like purchase on it, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. It's the same way I feel. And I love like it has a little bit of extra weight because it has a different material in the frame.
Mhm.
And so that weight actually makes me feel a little bit steadier with that 7x magnification. And so between that and the adjustable eye cup, where I can either dial it out when I'm wearing contacts like now, or if I'm wearing my glasses, I can leave that eye cup in and still have that right eye relief that I feel secure with that rangefinder and I'm not feeling like I'm bouncing all over the place.
I really stumbled through trying to explain
We got what you were.
the
We
side.
were picking up
It
what you're putting down.
it's that was like one of the first things. I'm like, it feels short, but like it fits in my hand so well. And I'm like, I can't figure out why. Then I put them side by side and I was like, oh, it's like taller.
Well, like you had mentioned, like a lot of the rangefinders, and they all have their own niche to them or features maybe that kind of separate
Mhm.
them from one another. But for the most part, most of the rangefinders do have that similar
Shape.
shape and weight. So makes sense. But I will agree. Like I said, I gunned it. I used it a couple times, and you can definitely feel the weight of it, and it does feel different
It's
than
like
some
a
of the others.
quality weight, right? It's not like wow, this thing weighs like nothing. Let me go throw it. It has like a
It's got a
really
limited warranty. It's got a lifetime warranty. You're good.
limited lifetime or
Yeah.
something.
Um,
Damn, I should for the review, I should have just like thrown it. I didn't know that. I should have just fucking
This is why we
thrown
do
it.
this podcast episode, so we can ask the questions, the hard hitting questions. You
The
know,
next review I do, I'm gonna just throw it into the bunker and hit it.
I think
I
a
tell you
great.
what, just drop it in that bucket of water for me and show people what that would look like.
See,
Yeah.
I think it would be so cool to do some sort of Instagram video where you shank a shot. Like we're not angry golfers, but just for some content, shank a shot, throw it in the pond, jump in, show that it's floating, jump in, no big deal. I feel like that'd be great. Get some
I
clicks.
Oh
can't.
yeah.
Get you some arm
There we
floaties. You'll be
go.
good.
Like I can't swim. So
I'm
it,
not gonna chuck it way in
that'd
and
be
make you
even
swim
that'd be
across the
even better
pond.
content. This floats, but Dom doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Dom is sinking, but it's right over there. We're
Dom's sinking, but you can see the rangefinder floats.
exactly. Oh man, that's
The
fantastic.
most wild part is I grew up on a lake.
That is kind of wild. Yeah. Oh,
Uh-oh.
we lost sound. Lights out.
Motion sensors.
Motion's out. Is there anything that you want to add? We have some rapid fire questions that we'd love to ask you. There's just a few of them, but is there anything that you might want to add that we didn't cover?
No, I think for the most part we've hit everything. I mean, obviously, it's the holiday season coming up, so if anybody's interested, definitely check it out. We'll have some sales go live probably starting next week, and so I think people will be really excited to see what we have to offer this holiday season.
And then do you have those like readily available so you can get them before the holidays if you place an order?
Oh, absolutely. We don't sell anything we don't have already ready to ship. And so
Awesome.
we ship everything within 3 business days of your order. You pay for expedited. We get out the door that same day if we can. And so definitely ready, geared up for the holidays. We also offer some custom engraving for people. So if that's something you're interested in, you can get your name, phone number, a little saying, something like that on the edge,
Oh my
kind of
goodness.
engraved into that armor.
In case you do forget it, you can still, hopefully somebody's a good Samaritan will call.
Or they'll
Right.
text you be like, haha, it's mine now.
Or just that's a good one. There you go. Shoot you a text message with the
No,
picture of
yeah.
it. I think you
No,
forgot something.
it is a great gift, especially for that, like the clumsy golfer in your life, or that golfer you in your life that just drops everything. It's a great gift,
You're looking for that golfer that loves rangefinders, but just does whoopsies once in a while and forgets it somewhere. You're just a repeat customer. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right. That's what we talk about, right? Putting the magnet in just instantly will boost sales.
Exactly. So we
That's
don't, let's not do
one of
magnet. Oh, that's fantastic. Alan, man, it's been a pleasure having you on. We're just going to ask a couple rapid fire questions and then we'll wrap it up. So give me 1 second. We'll go right off the top here. What is your favorite club in your bag right now?
I've got a 3 wood from well, actually it's my 5 wood from sub 70. If I'm ever in trouble, I pull that thing out. It doesn't matter what lie I'm in, I'm always guaranteed to flush that thing.
That's your rescue
So
club?
that has been my favorite club that I've purchased in the last 18 months.
Okay.
Oh, it's new too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Go ahead. This is yours here.
I love that question.
Yeah, this is your, this
I'm
is your chance.
surprised. I'm surprised you didn't ask those two.
Yeah, I thought I asked this one, but I don't think I did.
No, I
I
don't think
kind
you
of
did
bounced
either.
around. But
Anyways, uh, you're at our shindig
next year,
next year. Hole one. What's your walk-up song?
Ooh.
got a DJ mixing
Um,
it up. It's up to you. No
right.
pressure. Everyone's watching.
That's actually what we're doing too. Hole one, people are gonna have walk-up songs.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great question. Um, Man, I don't know. It's got to be, I'm a big college football fan, and one of my favorite entrance songs has got to be Enter Sandman by Metallica. I mean, it's just one of those things. You hear that song, it just instantly gets you hyped.
That'll pump you
I
up.
was gonna say you strike me as like a classic rock guy. I think God of Thunder by Kiss.
I was honestly,
Yeah.
when you said
Yeah.
college, I was thinking like the Cameron Crazies entry, like that song. The
Uh,
that would be a banger too. That's kind of what I was
I
thinking when
mean,
you're
the
talking about
the
college. But
bass line of God of Thunder though is dun 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 dun. You're just
Mhm.
like, oh, just gonna hit the
If you're happy
fan.
blood, yeah, get you going off the
yeah, it's a
first.
good thing we're not talking about hole three once the round has gone off the trails. So,
Yeah. Okay. What song would you be playing whole 3D? No, just
Mad as fuck.
kidding. Okay. Driver or putter? Which one do you rely on more?
oh, 100% putter.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to score well for my round, I'm going to come in with, a whole bunch of 1 or 2 putts.
Do you prefer
And
to
so
two
that is
putt
my
or
club
three
that
putt?
saves me. Oh, 3 putt all day long, right?
I was like, where are you going with this?
That's a little follow-up
Yeah,
question.
I
Okay.
love, working my ass off to get to the green and regulation, or like just chipping on trying to save par and walking away with a double. It's a great
Yeah,
feeling.
Every
it's the
time.
best. Yeah, I love it. Nothing better than hitting just a nice drive down the middle, either chunking it, blading it onto the green, or sticking on the green and then walking it with a three putt. I'm right there with you. Uh,
Yeah.
What putter's in your bag?
I like that. The script,
Oh,
Well,
nice.
like, listen. He's confident in his putter.
I know. I want to hear it.
What
mhm.
what are you hitting?
I have had for the longest time just a generic top flight that I got as a gift for Christmas. And I recently borrowed a buddy, Scotty Cameron, that he just had sitting in his garage, and it was the worst thing ever for my bank account because I had to walk up to him after the next round and be like, "All right, dude, how much do you want for it?" Not even going to haggle.
You should have traded him for a rangefinder or
I'm not
two.
even
You
like a
know,
Scotty guy, so I'm a little upset that you got Scotty.
I've
I
had
know.
Scotty.
Yeah, it was
I've
one of
had
those things
Scotty.
that, like, once I got my hands on it, and he's got this interesting grip. It's a flat cat, and so it was unique. It took a little while, but sometimes with putting, it's just one of those things that if your hands start gripping the club, start twisting it, so when you switch grips, it's all of a sudden magic
Mm.
until your
Mental
brain
thing.
figures it out.
Yep.
Hmm.
I gotta switch the grip on mine. I don't like it.
What's your go-to snack?
Oof. I'm a classic Snickers guy on the course, and there's nothing to beat it.
I will say close second. Well, I would say probably first for me would be peanut M&Ms.
It
Those are
is
Okay,
solid.
yeah.
my favorite.
That I
Yeah.
love those. But are we talking like just like regular Snickers, or are we talking like
I was thinking the ice cream.
well that or like a one that's been like
Ooh.
sitting in the cooler like on a nice warm hot day?
I figures
Oh
it
yeah,
like
it's got
dropped
it.
in your pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
Pull me
You
a
like
gun.
freeze it the
Top.
night before it starts thawing
Yes.
out on the course.
Just
Yep.
just hot
Yeah, and
soup
it's
in the
got to be a
pocket.
king size. You can't just do one. You need the second one there for later.
Yeah, you gotta have the second one for dessert, right?
Oh yeah, but if we're talking ice cream like candy bar, it's got to be Twix for me.
I've never had the
I haven't
Twix
either.
ice cream.
If I'm doing like I would do the chocolate chip cookie sandwich. You know what I'm talking about? It's like two
Yeah.
cookies with the ice cream and then the little
Hmm.
chocolate chips around it. It's probably like 1,200 calories, but it still
I'm a
hits.
sucker for just the plain ice cream sandwich, like the chocolate
Oh yeah.
and then the vanilla and then the chocolate
It's kind of
thing.
like the rectangle fudge looking one,
Yeah.
or it's not fudge, but chocolate. Yeah, I
I
know what you're
wish it
talking
was fudge.
about. Okay, I
I
like
could
that.
fuck up some fudge.
This is a good one for Don Don. Here you go.
Oh God.
I know, switch it up a little bit.
I know.
I added some flavor to the
God, you're gone
question.
for 2 weeks and
I
this is what
know. Look what
happens.
happens.
What is your best advice you've been given in terms of golf?
Oh man, hard part is I've gotten so much of it throughout the years. So I think for me personally, like I have figured out that no matter how I'm feeling, the round is going, your score generally ends up pretty close to the same, right? And so
Mhm.
keeping that level head, not letting that last hole that maybe was a blow up like get to you. I think that's always the key, right? Like if you can forget those mistakes and have that short memory, that usually goes a long way. That being said, for me, the number one rounds in my life have always been with a good group that, you start vibing, you start getting out there, you get into the flow and rhythm, and everybody's having a good time. Like nobody's over aggressive, like slinging clubs left and right. Everybody's just out there having a good time. And at that point in time, it's easy to find a rhythm
That's,
and just
that's
kind
so
of let
true.
the round come out.
Yeah, if you got good vibes flowing, odds are you guys are gonna go, not necessarily shoot a great score, but
You're gonna have fun.
you're gonna have fun, but you have a better opportunity to
Mhm.
go low. You know what I mean? So I like that.
The best advice I've ever been given is actually from Derek. He used to yell at me to keep my head down.
Dom's a great
That was the first thing that jumped into my head was like, that
Literally,
was my
he's
dad all growing up. Just keep
yeah.
your head down. I'm like, I'm trying. It's not helping.
Derek's like, quit moving your noggin. I'm like, dude, and I'm like in my head, I'm like, I am perfectly still, and he's like, you moved. I'm like,
You're already looking at the down the fairway, my friend.
yeah, I'm already looking for the ball, and he was like, it's over there. I'm like, shit.
It's so crazy though. It's like it's such an easy piece of advice, but it's very difficult to follow. I mean, even as an adult, you're just like, dude, I swear I'm keeping my head down. And like, no, nope, you're already looking. But okay, walk or ride? What do you prefer?
If I'm having a casual round, like I love walking. It's one of those things that it's easier for me because I am 100% a rhythm golfer. Walking helps me get there. It also gives me that time, like when you hit a bad shot, to kind of collect yourself on the walk up there.
Sure.
They're just such different experiences, right, between riding and walking. Riding is definitely more of like that, like, oh, we're going to have a good time out here today. It's going to be laid back and casual. But if I'm just going out for an early morning round, I'm definitely walking the course.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like this one.
You pointed to the gap in between two.
No, this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite golf movie?
Oh man.
My favorite one, I'll take the anticipation everybody's waiting on away. Tin Cup.
I would say mine is probably Happy
Ooh.
Gilmore too.
I'm
I'm just kidding.
I
I
was
didn't
gonna
say
say
Happy
for me,
Gilmore.
it's a toss up between Happy Gilmore and Caddyshack. I mean, you got a
Yeah,
classic in Caddyshack. That's tough to beat, but
Tin Cup's great too.
I
I
have
like that.
I
just
love Tin Cup. I love
yeah,
the scene where he's like another
Yeah,
one.
Kevin Costner. Who's the other guy on that? The kid.
Cheech.
Yeah, that what's his
Cheech
name?
Marin.
Cheech, yep,
Yeah,
Cheech
yeah.
Marin, yeah.
That's a
That's my
great
favorite.
movie.
This is our last one. You better make it.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that's kind of like when you think of like best Christmas movies, there's always like one or two that always kind of get like
Do you think Die Hard's a Christmas movie?
see
Because it's not.
a lot of people say it is, and it's under Christmas movies under like when you look it up, but
I don't care. It's not.
yeah, I don't ever consider it a Christmas movie. Like, well, if you ask like my favorite Christmas movie, that's not gonna come, but it is, I
Oh
think,
yeah, right.
Oh, Christmas Vacation is my favorite one.
that's
I
so
mean, I
like
came from the generation of Home Alones, so like there's
That's
a
a good
special
one
place
too.
growing up that Home Alone was. Yep.
one and two are the best movies hand down for Christmas. I know.
One of my favorite newer Christmas movies is The Night Before with Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Uh, what's his name? I can picture him. Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Hmm.
and then Anthony Mackie. It's a great one that for newer Christmas
Sure.
movies.
But well, that was my thought. Like Tin Cup, like I feel like Christmas Vacation is grown on me so much. It's one of my all-time favorite
Oh,
Christmas movies.
it is
But
my all time.
it's one of those that I always kind of just like it's there, but it's always like just gets it's always like Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore, or same thing, Home Alone, or like Grinch or Elf. You know what I
I
mean? I
didn't
feel
even
like
think of
Mhm.
Caddyshack,
yeah, Caddyshack's classic.
which like I understand it's classic, but it's like when you said golf movie, I immediately went to Tin Cup.
I gravitate towards
Oh
Happy.
man. Yeah, and I totally like you said Tin Cup, and I think I had just seen like a clip of it like recently again, and like had forgotten about like some of the scenes and needing to watch it again. And so it's definitely one of those things that it's definitely in that category, but just a little bit under that radar.
This is why we say rapid fire questions because they're like quick questions, but then we always
It's
like
also why we call it golf and things.
yeah, we talk a lot of food too, which we that will be our last question. But a couple more rapid fires and we'll wrap it up here. Bucket list golf destination. Is there a place that you could even if you've played it, like a destination place that you've played, or one that you would just love to play? Where would it be?
And I can tell you the first time I got to go out to Bandon, haven't played it yet, but went out there to meet some of the caddies, and just walked up on one of the little and just like took in. I would love there and just play. I think now with their shorties course, they're up to 5 different tracks that you can
Yeah,
do. That place is just looks amazing and is pristine. It's one of those things that playing in Oregon, you almost feel like you need to do it in January to get the like the rain and the cold and really feel that links vibe.
yep,
And so that's definitely up there. And then of course, like you've got to throw any of those Scottish links up there that you see in the British Open.
for sure.
I think that would be an incredible experience.
That's gotta be quite a tease going out to band and not being able to play.
Talk about
Hmm.
blue balls.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a rough one.
seriously.
Yeah.
It's like a bittersweet. Like this is amazing, yet I'm not playing. It sucks. So
Beard does it all the time. Beard from Sucker Pin Society will drive up to Bandon, go, wow, if I had,
yeah,
and then
it's like
drive back.
get some merch out to the pro shop and then
It's like far. It's like enough of a drive because he lives in like San Jose, California. They'll drive all the way up to
Okay. Yep.
Oregon, and then they'll be like, "Wow, here's my hat," and then leave. I'm
I love Beard because he's
like, what the hell?
he's like a big nerd when it comes to architecture for golf courses and all that. So he understands it. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's got to be quite the
So off topic, but Beard follows my dad on Instagram,
yeah.
and whenever my dad posts something and Beard likes it, my dad will send me a text. Beard liked my picture.
Yeah, okay, cool. Shout out Beard.
I'm like, he liked mine too.
I'm gonna ask one more and then we'll talk food and we'll let Dom wrap it up. Funniest moment you've had on the golf course,
Ooh. Um, Man, I'm going to tell
maybe
on myself here.
or maybe the craziest
So,
moment, whatever.
yeah, it was. We just finished a little a fundraiser tournament. We're coming back. It's the first time I've ever played this course. And so we're driving back. We try to get a shortcut because we started on hole 5, and so we finish up on 4, trying to find a shortcut through some houses to get to back to the clubhouse. Keep hitting cul-de-sacs, right? So we've gone 3 different ways, and we're just at all dead ends. And so we're like, turn around, start backtracking past this group on a par 5, get across the bridge, and I just naturally turned to like head towards the tee box. Um, like go up and over this mound, and next thing I know, like here's this bunker just out of nowhere, and it's like a 4-foot drop.
Oh no.
And instantly just had this thought of like, oh, what do I do? And so tried to take a 90-degree turn, which then resulted in like you feel the cart turn and then you just chip over and just disappear. And so my boss was actually behind me in the cart behind me, and he described it. He's like, "You were there one moment, and then you were gone." And he's like, "The best
There,
part was if you hadn't taken that turn and disappeared." He's like, "We would have followed right behind you, so both of us would have had that classic cart jump over there."
oh,
And so rolled into the bunker. Like my buddy who's in me played college football, and so he's about 6'4". And just like I went down first, I think he bounced off of me and ejected out of the cart. Like we get up, we go to lift this cart up, and it's just completely smashed. Like I'm driving it back to the clubhouse. Like I can't even fit under it. I'm like shoulders under the roof of the cart. It's about neck height, and I'm just cruising it like nothing happened. Just waiting to see what the pro shop's gonna say. The best news is that was a brand new cart. It was the first time it had ever gone out.
oh my gosh,
Oh,
that is a crazy story.
Uh,
Driving like Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura. That detective where his head's hanging out the window, his windshield's damaged.
Exactly. Yeah, it was that exact moment. It just you got other people flying by you because the cart's not really moving at this point. So miraculously, not a single club broke in that. Like it was just the frame of the cart. And so yeah, like
just the
it could have
frame
been
of
a
the car.
whole lot worse.
Did you
Just the
guys
frame. It's fun.
was it an expensive event like after that? Did you have to pay for it or did they just like it was
That's a great question. Still waiting for that bill. So we'll see what happens when it shows up.
okay? Okay.
Dang.
Yeah, it actually happened earlier today. So
Damn.
we're still waiting.
Derek and I were playing a course up north and it had rained the night before, so the grass was kind of slick. So we're driving up this hill to look for my ball. And then before I know it, we're spinning
Oh yeah, the tires.
down this hill.
It's like we hit like a banana on Mario Kart where we're
And you just
Uh-huh.
spin.
yeah.
We are spinning down this hill, beer in hand for me, and it's everywhere. And we finally stop and the car goes, yeah, like it straightens out and he goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Where's my
It
beer?"
was like one of those things you're just like out of your control though. Like you just like you didn't have any control and it's like if you tried to turn it any which way, the cart was like you said, like it's gonna tip, especially if you try to turn, you know.
Mhm.
But
Well, and then this year, like I've never hit anybody while golfing. I've hit Chaz and Jess twice.
like what's his face from Happy Gilmore? Like
Yeah.
fully trying to target him or it was
No, no, no.
oh okay.
No, so the first time we were playing at Oneka
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just trying to hit the green. So I'm just hitting my balls and my ball was like a heat-seeking missile and just went, no,
Oh, you mean like hit him not with the cart, like with the ball.
with the ball.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
And it
thinking cart.
smoked them. And I'm like, it wasn't me. Like they'll never know. And then they drive out and they're like, Dom, what did you do? I'm like, I didn't do it. The ball did it.
Yeah, because the second one I was with you. When you remember?
That was the first
Oh,
one.
that was the first one. Okay.
And then the second one, Chaz and I were playing Synchro National, which is like a really nice high-end course. And he's like, oh, he's like, Dom can't hit me. And I hit that golf ball and it smoked his bag.
That's
Like I have never hit anybody with a golf ball. I've never like I've been close,
he's got a magnet.
but like I've never been like normally I'm like, okay, you're in a safe spot. My ball, I've never hit a ball that just went like nine, like
You
it's
pulled like the Bubba Watson like through the trees.
Just a straight
yeah,
boomerang, right?
Yeah.
yeah. And he's like, I'm moving. I'm like, you should.
Okay, so again we really appreciate your time and we'd love to have you on again down the road. But we always end the podcast with some sort of food related question. So depending on what Dom's got,
I'm hungry.
so ask away whatever you're feeling.
Ooh.
So Wyoming, it's a weird place. Take
We've
us.
never been there.
Well, I've never been there, so it's weird. So it's your birthday, it's your dream scenario. Where would you go out to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Ooh, am I here in my hometown of Lander,
Yes,
or am
you are.
I anywhere in the world? Yep, I'm
Nope,
here.
in Wyoming.
In Wyoming, yeah.
Yep, yep. So I'm gonna go hit. We've got a breakfast place in town called Middle Fork. Do a fantastic brunch. So if it's my birthday, I'm probably not waking up that early. So we're probably sneaking in there around like 10 or 11. So that's going to capture me for breakfast and lunch there.
Hell yeah.
Um, and then if I'm in the mood, it's probably going to end up being either going to our local Mexican place, El Sol, to get pitchers of margaritas to wash down my dinner with. Or if I'm feeling a little fancier, I'm going to go to our Italian place, Molino's.
Okay.
I was more sold on the pictures of margaritas.
I mean, it is a birthday, so I think you got to go
Got the
big.
ball. for
That's what
sure.
I'm saying.
When you're talking brunch, like what's your go-to for?
Yeah, like I'm not a morning person, right? So I love sneaking in at 10:30, 11. But
Mhm.
like, what are we getting?
Yeah, we're doing like an omelet. We're doing like a breakfast
We
burrito.
doing
Just the
like a
classics,
we doing
eggs.
we doing a whole loaf of French toast
What are
or
we doing? Pancakes. What do we got?
Oh, no,
waffles?
man, it's the country fried steak, with a little bit of
Ooh,
sausage gravy on top, some
Not a
nice
little bit. We're
potatoes underneath.
smothering it.
yep. I like that.
Yep.
Sounds good. Well, Alan, we really appreciate your time. It's nice to meet you, and like I said, we'd love to have you on again down the road, and hopefully you can make it out to the trade show here in Minnesota.
If I do, you guys will be my first call.
All right, man. We'll hold you to it. So we appreciate it, man. Have a
Yep.
good night and take care.
Yeah, thank you. You guys too. We'll see you.
Thanks.